Vivek Ramaswamy sent me a letter last week asking for money to raise his support for campaign for governor in Ohio. Let's get into why he's losing and what he can do to rebound from here. My name is Casey. I've been a therapist for more than a decade and an Ohio resident for more than 3 decades. And this channel was created in part to try to represent a future of faith, fatherhood, and freedom in America. And that means bringing industry and opportunity back to the Ohio Valley. If you can support that, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's get into it.
But if you want to run for office in America, well, it's best to not insult Americans. And that's something that is critical in the state of Ohio, which is a state that obviously has seen better days.
First of all, I've been an Ohio resident for about 30 years. No, it's been more like 35. And I can say firsthand that when we came here, there was great opportunity, industry, and other ways that somebody could make a good living in the state of Ohio. Since that time, the great flight of industry has hit the place where the Wright brothers made the first plans for the first plane, Dayton, Ohio, exceedingly hard. And the Ohio Valley used to be one of the richest areas in the entire world during the Industrial Revolution because of its access to ports that could go all the way eastward in Lake Erie. That's why there was a fight over the city of Toledo, because once upon a time between Michigan and Ohio, that was a great valuable target for the eastern seaboard. However, nowadays, the wayward workers in the cities, southern, eastern, northern Ohio, have all been hit exceedingly hard. And Vivek Ramaswamy made a statement about a year ago, which was so culturally insensitive and blind to what the temperature really is, that he made a lot of people really mad.
The reason tech companies often hire foreign-born and first-generation engineers over Native Americans. Should have just deleted after that line, bro. Should have just deleted after that sentence. Said, this isn't for me. Isn't because of an innate American IQ deficit. Lazy, wrong explanation. So he's saying that American have an IQ deficit. That's actually 100% false based on all available data. So Americans have on average, white Americans have on average some of the highest IQs in the entire world for like what is considered Pax European countries. So that is wrong, correct. A key part of it comes down to the C word, culture. Tough questions demand tough answers, and we're really serious about fixing the problem. We have to confront the truth.
So can he win the governorship in Ohio? Well, yes, he can. And in fact, I would wager a guess that he probably would, because Amy Acton, his opponent, was standing at DeWine's side, the current governor of Ohio, Mike DeWine's side, during the COVID lockdowns, telling everybody that they needed to shut up and get in their homes before they unleashed the DeWine, brigade on you and sent you back home. And she is quite possibly the most disliked person in the state of Ohio for anybody who has a memory longer than a goldfish, because she stood there. I believe it's the same lady who is like the health secretary, and she received quite a lot of threats against her and other negativity during that time. And if people can just remember back more than 5 seconds ago, they'll know that this was the lady who wanted to be a tyrannical governor in waiting and stand at DeWine's side and use him like a puppet to do all the little bidding that she wanted him to do.
Shows that Amy Acton, this is the Democrat, lockdown lib, like somebody who shouldn't even stand a chance in Ohio, is actually running a point ahead of Vivek.
And while the state of Ohio went to Trump by more than 12 points or somewhere around 12 points in the last election cycle, and it is extremely red, it has the potential to be lost because Vivek made a statement stating that Americans are inherently lazy and that they should be replaced with foreign-born workers because they have a measurable IQ less than those foreigners that Vivek wanted to support coming into the country. And while he might be, supporting his own people group when he says something like that, it is in fact not his constituency, if he's running for the governor of state of Ohio, that he would say, something that's so starkly debilitating to the people who actually reside here in Ohio. Because while he's stuck in Columbus, the people who live in the suburbs or in the rural countryside of this state have been suffering. There is less jobs, less opportunity, less industry, and more suffering than Vivek has probably seen in his entire time here. Now, I do give Ramaswamy some credit, because when he does public speaking, he does take very hard questions. He wants his people who disagree with him to be very vocal in those meetings. Protesters often get the floor. They get the opportunity to speak their piece. And I give him a lot of credit also for some of his conspiratorial thinking in the ways that he believes that the bureaucracy has had its clutches and the Leviathan's tentacles on the processes of the U.S. government, all of which he represented in the last election cycle for president when he ran against Donald Trump. However, you cannot be this insensitive to your constituency and survive in a state where we have suffered greatly because of the lack of opportunity that's really been taken from us as this area deindustrialized.
Lives, just like anywhere else, they deserve good lives. I have nothing against Ohio. Donald Trump wins Ohio, obviously, by over 10 points in 2024. This is just a dominant performance, a 12-point electoral victory in Ohio. Look at this. President Trump winning, virtually every county. Was it 5 counties went to Kamala? Yeah, had a little problem, or is having a problem. Vivek Ramaswamy is sending Ohio voters emails asking for support amid new polling showing that he's trailing his Democrat opponent. How can you trail your Democrat opponent in a state that President Trump won by 12 points and then he endorsed you? This seems to be like a layup.
So did I send Vivek any money for his campaign? No, I did not. But I would if there were some caveats. Now, he shouldn't care what I think or say. I've been a therapist in the Ohio Valley region for a long time. However, I would work with him to try to reform the industry that I work in so that there were less corruption and exploitation of the people who've grown up in Ohio and become addicted to substances because in part of the lack of opportunities here. So my industry, the drug treatment industry, very much so, has been exploitative, and there's outside actors coming in and exploiting the people of Ohio. That all needs reform. And if Vivek can step up to the plate to try to help me reform an industry that I would like to support the reform of, which is the one that I work in, then I might help him see his candidacy through, as long as we can work together to try to make Ohio a better place to live for my children, because my in-laws are here. Many people that I love dearly are here. Our church is here. I would love to stay, but I also wouldn't love it if my children were replaced by people that are brought in from out of country and they have to live in a place where drugs are essentially legal and there's rampant crime and lack of opportunity. So Vivek, you probably have my vote, but you probably won't have my money unless we can work together to try to reform Ohio. And if you are a resident of the Midwest and you know exactly what I'm talking about with the deindustrialization of this region, please like, share, and subscribe. I would love your support.